I am in London's Hyde Park, and we are about to see something extremely inappropriate. We are about to see scum and depravity. We are about to come into the sight of lewdness and nudity. We're about to see something that was not appreciated in its time, and it is all to blame on the women of England. Who would have thought? This is London's first public nude statue, a monument to the Duke of Wellington for his defeat of Napoleon. You wouldn't have thought that a Napoleonic statue would be London's first nude statue, but this is it, though it does have a fig leaf. The ladies insisted on a fig leaf. Must keep some sort of gentility here. Now, this was erected in 1822, and now in Britain, we pretty much consider that suitable recognition has been given for the Duke of Wellington and Nelson and the greats of the Napoleonic Wars. But in the early 1820s, late 1810s, it was still up in the air. A lot of people still hadn't chosen the actual monuments that would go up. Some money was raised, but there was still discussion of what would actually be erected. And this was raised by the ladies of England as their own particular tribute. Contributions were taken from all over the country, and this design was chosen. And it is an Achilles, but there was some controversy as to what it originally was supposed to be. Some people thought it might have been Alexander the Great, with that being perhaps a more flattering analogy for the Duke. They also kind of called it an Adonis because he is an attractive young man up there, and it doesn't look particularly martial. It's just an attractive young gentleman in the middle of the park. How lewd. But this is the statue, and when it got brought in, they had to knock a wall down because it wouldn't fit through the gates. But criticism of the monument was twofold. Not only that it was a bit lewd and a bit vague, because the comparison wasn't necessarily flattering for the Duke to be Achilles and to glorify war in that way. But we can see the bum was recognized in that famous cartoon that I keep putting up, because like we talked about at Horse Guards with the Prince Regent's bomb being compared to the Prince Regent's bum, it says, "Is this the Prince Regent's bum?" And by that time, the Prince Regent, Prince George, had become King George IV, which I love. At the bottom of this, actually, it's written as King George IV, but with 4 I's instead of IV. So I like to think that they just had 3 written and then they added an extra I, but Roman numerals are pretty inconsistent, particularly in Georgian Britain, and also, to a lesser extent, in ancient Rome. There's a little bit of inconsistency. The other big criticism is there was a lot of economic difficulty in the 1820s as well. It says this monument was erected for the relief of his starving countrymen, which is a little bit cutting that the monument had gone up and thousands of pounds were spent on recognizing a war that had happened 6 years before and glorifying that loss rather than spending money on something else. But we can appreciate it today. We can appreciate our gentleman friend and his armor and his sword and his shield raised protecting the nation. So to Arthur, Duke of Wellington, and his brave companions in arms, this statue of Achilles, cast from cannon, taken in the victories of Salamanca, Victoria, Toulouse, and Waterloo, is inscribed by their countrywomen. So again, cannons, melted Spanish and French cannons, Salamanca, Victoria, Toulouse, and Waterloo, and then placed on this spot the 18th day of June 1822 by command of His Majesty George IV. So that was another controversial London monument. What do you think? Do you think it's inappropriate and lewd? Do you think it shall be taken down presently and the peace and good order of society will be restored? What should next be on the docket for the Ministry for History? Can we ever get rid of these bird sounds? Who knows? I am Daryl, known in genteel circles and eccentric circles, etc., as the Lord Rivers. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you on the next one. Hopefully the next one will have a bit more clothing. Yes.